In this series, we're teaching through this passage in the book of Exodus. Now, the thing you've got to recognize about Exodus is this is the very beginning of the Bible. And so these are not people that are like us, where we have thousands of years of biblical history to look at. So I can dig through this and go, oh, look, that's what he said to Job. Oh, look what he did to David. Look what he said through Jeremiah. Look what he said through Jesus. It's just all of these years of history. These people don't know these things about God. They don't have that advantage that you have. So some of them, all they knew was that Moses, this human being, was actually going to get to go up to this mountaintop and meet with God, as we described last week. Remember, a human being walked up a mountain, and the rest of the people, they weren't allowed on that mountain. In fact, if they touched the mountain, they would die. And so Moses is this representative going up, and he was going to hear from God and come down and tell them about this God. It kind of reminds me, I don't know if you've ever seen like movies where where they're not even sure what this God is like and what would appease him, or they may make, oh gosh, we're going through all this trouble. This God must be angry. What do we need to do to appease him? You know, it's like they really don't know. And so Moses, is just praying, goes, God, I want to see you. I want to know you. And he's going up there, and the people, I think if we saw, we would have just assumed there's no way he can survive that. He walked into a fire. And you hear this voice thundering from heaven. And so when you get to Exodus 34, you have the people who are awaiting, what is Moses going to say? What is Moses going to hear from God? And so imagine what they must have felt when Moses came down. He could have said anything. He could have said, I just spoke to our Creator, that one in the fire, and he is so angry, and we are going to be punished soon. He could have said that. We have no control over what God is like. Moses is just saying, I just want to know what your heart is like. I want to know you. And God answers him, and here's what he says. In Exodus 34, verse 6, it says, the Lord passed before him and proclaimed, the Lord, a God merciful. Can you imagine? You watch this man walk out of a fire after being on this mountaintop with God, and you're like, what did he say? What is he like? And the first thing that God wanted them to know is, I'm merciful. Who I am as a person who, the idea of mercy is I should punish you, but I'm not going to. I'm actually going to show mercy upon you. I'm actually going to not give you what you deserve. That's who I am. I'm a God who is, that must have been the greatest news. Some of us, we grew up in church, so we're used to hearing, oh, yes, God is a God of mercy. But you can understand, when you understand that for the first time, he actually wants to forgive. There's actually who he is as a person, a being that in his heart. In Ephesians 2, he talks about how all of us have done things that are so offensive to God. We do whatever we feel like doing. He says that we follow the passions of our minds and our hearts, and we're just following the course of the world. And he says, because of that, you are by nature children of wrath. So that means because I just follow me and my desires rather than him, he goes, I deserve his wrath. I mean, it's a very ugly picture where he says all of us are like zombies, just going and doing what we enjoy, not caring about what he wants. And because of that, then for this God, for him to be fair, he should punish us. So we are children of wrath, children just awaiting the end of our lives till God punishes us. But verse 4, it says, but God, being rich in mercy. That is one of the most beautiful phrases, to know that God is rich in mercy. I mean, even before that, though, you've got to see in verse 5, it says that the Lord descended in the cloud and stood with him there and proclaimed the name of the Lord. So first, when Moses is saying, I want to see you, and God says, well, you can't see my face and live. He goes, well, I want to know you. I want to tell me about you. I want to know your ways because I want to please you. It says that God descends. He answers Moses' prayer. He just descends. And it says he stood with him there and proclaimed the name of the Lord. There's something so powerful and sacred about that moment. You have a God who descended down, and the actual word is that he stood with him. We don't know what that means. It just gives this picture of an actual real person. It's and not person like we talked about last week, not person like you and I, just normal flesh and blood, but a holy being, but a personal God who's revealing himself. And the first thing he's saying is, I'm a God of mercy. I don't know what you've done in life. We all have secrets, and we all have things that we know we deserve punishment for, things we're embarrassed of, ashamed of. And it's hard for us to believe that we could just be forgiven of those things. But you've got to go beyond your feelings and go, no, this is what God says about himself. His heart is to forgive because he's a God of mercy. He wants to forgive you today.